In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to repair a bicycle which has front forks which are loose, and when you try and stop, do this. Even though it's not entirely necessary, I'm also going to fully disassemble this part of the bike so that I can clean and re-grease all the bearings, and in the process help you understand how this part of the bike works. So the part of the bike here where the handlebars pivot is called the headset. There are two common styles of headsets, and this bike has the style which is called a threaded headset. The other style of headset is called a threadless headset, and I will not be covering threadless headsets in this video. The best way to determine what style of headset your bike has is to look at how the stem for the handlebars fastens to the headset. If the stem simply attaches with one bolt, which comes here from the top, then your bike likely has a threaded headset like mine does. However, if in addition to that top bolt, right here, the stem also has some bolts which fasten it from the side, then your bike likely has a threadless headset instead. So the first step for disassembling the headset is to remove the stem and handlebars, which I do by loosening off this top bolt here. The bolt on this bike has an Allen key socket, which accepts a 6mm Allen key. The bolts of some stems on some other bikes have a hexagonal bolt head like this, which use a wrench or a socket instead. The bolt has a standard right-handed thread, so to loosen it I rotate in the counterclockwise direction. After the bolt has been initially broken free, I want to rotate it approximately 4 more times so that the head of the bolt is protruding slightly from the top of the stem. I don't want to remove this bolt all the way. Next, you want to stand with the front wheel in between your legs, and pushing in on the wheel with your knees, you want to try twisting the handlebars. In many cases this should be enough to break the stem free, but in this case the stem seems to be seized. To unseize it, I can take a hammer and tap on the end of this bolt. So now if I repeat what I tried earlier, the stem should now be broken free, which means I can lift it and pull it out from inside of the bike and place it to the side so it'll be out of my way. So how exactly was the stem held in place, and what did hitting it with a hammer do? So if you take a look at the stem, you'll notice that this top bolt here threads into this round piece of metal down here, and the round piece of metal meets the bottom of the stem at an angle here. When this gets inserted into the tube, these two pieces need to be aligned together like that, but then once it's inside the tube, this top bolt is tightened up, which pulls this piece upwards like this, and you can see that it misaligns the two pieces, and this top piece is wedging itself up against the outside of the tube. Earlier in the video when I tried to loosen this top bolt off, but it didn't do anything, that's because this piece was still wedged in place, and then when I hammered on it, it unwedged itself and it was able to come out. So now I can start to disassemble the headset itself. The hardware from one headset to another can differ slightly, but the concepts are always the same. Just be sure you keep track of what order the different pieces of hardware came off so you can put it back the same way that you found it. The first piece of hardware to remove is this lock nut up here, and I can use this large adjustable wrench to do it. This is a standard right-handed thread, so I can loosen it by rotating in the counterclockwise direction. After I've got it started with the wrench, I can remove it the rest of the way with my fingers. The next piece of hardware to remove is this washer ring here, which can just simply be lifted off. Notice that this washer ring has a little tooth in it, and that tooth corresponds with a slot which is cut in the threads here, which prevents the washer from spinning. After that, this headset has another lock nut on it, which can be spun off just using your fingers. The final piece of hardware is the upper cone for the bearings, and before removing it, it's a good idea to place the bike on its side on the floor. So just like the last one, I can thread this off with my fingers. So with that last piece removed, I can now carefully guide the forks out of the frame like this. So now that it's been fully disassembled, we can get a better idea of how the headset actually works. So at the top of the fork there's a metal piece here, which is called a cone, or sometimes referred to as a race. The cone has a curvature to it, which matches the curvature of the ball bearings, which get pressed up against it. The other side of those ball bearings press into a cup up here at the bottom of the head tube. The head tube also has another cup at the top, which has another set of ball bearings inside of it. And that cone that we removed earlier has a curvature to it, which matches up with the curvature of those ball bearings as well. Here's a cross-sectional diagram of a threaded headset. The red circles represent the ball bearings, and they're constrained by the cups, which are shown in green, and the cones, which are shown in yellow. The bottom cone is pressed in place and stays fixed, but the top cone is threaded on and can be adjusted up or down, which determines how tight the headset is. If this is set too tight, then the ball bearings won't be able to spin, which will make it hard to turn the handlebars. If the cone is set too loose, then the bearings will have play in them and might make a clunking sound like I showed at the beginning of the video. The key to adjusting the bearings is to find the middle point between those two extremes. The item shown in pink is the lock nut, which gets tightened against the upper cone to ensure that it doesn't gradually unscrew itself over time. The bike that I'm showing in this video actually has 2 lock nuts. So before I reassemble everything, I'm going to use a dry rag and wipe off all of the old grease from the bearings, cups, and cones. While you're doing this, it's a good idea to inspect all of these parts to make sure that they're still smooth and aren't showing any signs of pitting. Next, I'll apply some new grease to the inside of the cups as well as the bearing cages. The type of grease I normally use for bicycle-related things is white lithium grease, but there are many other types of grease which are also acceptable. So now I can insert the bearing cages into the cups, and I want to do it so that the round side of the bearings are facing in, the side that you can see here, and the flat side of the bearings that you can see here are facing out. The same is true for the top bearing. The round side faces in, and the flat side faces out. Next, I'll guide the forks back into the head tube, being careful not to tangle any of these cables. Next, I can tighten the upper cone back on. And stand the bike back up. So next I'll install all of this other hardware back on here, but I'm just going to install it loosely for now. First goes on this lock nut. Next I'll install this washer ring, being careful to line up the tooth with the slot and the threads. And finally, this other lock nut gets installed. Next, I can reinsert the stem back into the hole. Now this is where you get to choose how high you want to set your handlebars. You have the option of installing the handlebars so that the stem is inserted all the way into the tube like this, but you also have the option of installing it so that it's sticking out a little bit like this. If you pull the stem out too far, you'll see a line on here, which is the minimum insertion line, so you don't want to pull it out any farther than that line. But basically between this range here, you get to choose how high your handlebars stick out, and it's really just up to your personal preference. In my case, I'm choosing to set the handlebars as far up as they go, so holding in that position, I'll tighten up this Allen key on the top here. After I've got it moderately tightened, I'll stand with the wheel between my legs and make sure I align the handlebars with the wheel, and then tighten it the rest of the way. It's important to make sure that this bolt is really nice and tight so that your stem will have a really nice strong connection with your forks. So now I want to set this top cone for the headset to the correct amount of tension for the bearings. As I said before, I want to tighten it tight enough that there's not going to be any play in these bearings, and the best way to check for play is to take your hand and squeeze onto the front brake like this, and try rocking the front wheel forwards and backwards. If there's any play in there, you should feel it clunking back and forth. In this case, there's lots of play in there, so I want to tighten up this top cone. Now let me try again. Now I can still feel a little bit of play, so I want to tighten a little bit more. Now I'll try again. Okay, I can still feel a bit more. I'll tighten a little bit more. Okay, now I don't feel any play, and this is where I want to leave it. I don't want to tighten this up any further, because if I do, then it will be crushing those ball bearings in there, which will make it really hard for me to be able to turn the handlebars. So I want to tighten it just barely beyond the point where it has play in it. So next I want to tighten this lower lock nut on, and this one has some little slots cut in it, which I can use a slotted screwdriver to spin it around. Once it starts to get tight, I want to hold onto the cone with my other hand to make sure that I don't lose the position that I set it in. Next I can thread on the other lock nut, and I can use the big wrench to do that. This is also something that you want to make sure is nice and tight. Because the washer that's in between the top lock nut and the bottom lock nut had that tooth in it, the rotation from the top lock nut doesn't get transferred to the bottom one, so I don't have to worry about holding that bottom one stationary when I'm tightening up the top one. So now that I have everything tightened up again, I can repeat my earlier test to see if there's any play in there. In my case, I don't feel any, so it's been a success. Sometimes, however, this cone can get shifted out of position when you're doing some of those last steps there. So if that's the case for you, then you'll need to loosen these lock nuts back off again, correct the position of the cone, and then tighten them back down again and check again to see if you got it right that time. So anyway, that concludes this tutorial showing how to fix a loose front fork on a bicycle and also how to service the bearings on a threaded headset. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.